And we are live with Spot Dodge, a live Nintendo podcast where every single week we react to the latest Nintendo news and talk about the games we are playing. It's been a quiet week, but we're going to talk about some games we're playing, talk about that new Kirby title that just got announced this morning. Nobody saw that coming. Of course, I didn't save it for a Nintendo Direct or anything, because it's not like there's one of those coming anytime soon. But today, once again, I have with me Mary Stowe, social media manager and host here at Destructoid. How you doing, Mary?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. And then we have John Frisha, indie developer and managing editor over at The Escapist. What's up, John?
Just busy living my best life, Brett.
Good. And then we have the King Daddy Dilf, Brett Larson. How you doing, Brett?
I am good. I appreciate it. How are you guys?
Doing swell. We are streaming for the first time on TikTok. Hopefully things go off without a hitch. I'm assuming everything's going fine. But then lastly, of course, we have Greg Vargas, writer at PC Invasion and streamer over at Dynamite Giraffe. How you doing, Greg?
Doing pretty good, man. Ever since I started tapping this phone, good stuff's been happening.
Exactly.
Tapping these likes.
If you're watching over on
screen,
TikTok,
people.
please tap that screen over on TikTok so we can get in that algorithm, get all up in that algorithm. And of course, lastly, again, for the second time, we have Eric, who is streaming the show from his supercomputer to 3 different platforms on YouTube, Twitch, and now TikTok. Thank you, Eric. You are the wizard and the true brains behind this whole operation. So thank you.
Sure.
My boy Blue.
Okay, guys, let's talk about some video games. I have some stuff that I'm playing. I sort of just been playing Fire Emblem until I finally beat it, and Mary beat it as well. So we're gonna talk about that, of course. But before me and Mary go crazy, I want to find out what John's been playing. What have you been doing, John?
I guess I've played a few things if you count what I've reviewed recently. So first of all, I keep playing Langrisser, this like ancient strategy RPG from like the Sega Genesis, but it got a remake, but you can keep all the old art. So I'm having a real good time with that. It's almost over now, but the second game is also included with the first, so I still have like another 20 hours of that to go. So that's cool. I'm having a good time.
Every time I turn on my Switch, I always see you on it, and I'm like, he's just playing that so much.
Yeah, if I'm playing it at all, that's what I've been playing. And I real quick, I gave Sonic Origins a review because, you know, PR asked me to, so I said okay. Sonic Origins was it was a lot better than I expected based off like the weird backlash when it like launched I don't know how long ago that was, 2-3 weeks ago now. Like people were saying that there was like a lot of really bad bugs and stuff, but I only ran into like 2 or 3 the whole time I played. But the one is super annoying. All right, so Sonic the Hedgehog 2. You all remember it. Remember how this is the game that introduces Tails as your companion. He follows you everywhere, right?
Yep.
Okay, so in Sonic Origins, there's this hideous, horrible bug where Tails is constantly getting lost off screen and he can't come back to you. And he's literally trying to jump back into the action. And what I mean by that is you constantly hear the jump sound effect
Oh my god.
while you play. Dude, for like the whole level. Like,
oh my god.
You'll hear that for like minutes at a time because Tails can't find his way back to you, and it's crazy. And I can't believe they shipped the game with like a bug that weird. Like, it's not even like a particularly damaging bug. It's just extremely annoying, and it's like, how did nobody have the know-how to fix that? Like, it's just very weird. And
Especially, it's like a core mechanic of the game, like just from the
Right.
original.
it's like
So
Sonic
weird.
and Tails. They messed up the and Tails part. And
They
in-
broke
in Son-
Tails.
Yeah.
Oh,
In Sonic 3, Tails is fine. He follows you no problem. You can still use him to help you fly up to places, and that works fine. It's just Sonic 2, like they wildly screwed up. But
Wow.
you know, other than that, like I did run into one bug where I beat a boss in the original Sonic, then I ran off screen, and he fell off the screen, and then the game just soft
What
locked,
the
and that was
hell?
it. Yeah. Like, I guess a lot of people have run into problems with like weird soft locks or dying in places you didn't used to die, that sort of thing. But I only ran into it the one time. overall, I thought it was like really fun. I don't know if necessarily you should spend 40-45 bucks on it, but like
Oh,
if
man,
you like
I didn't
classic
know it was that
Sonic,
much.
you're gonna like this, especially with all the museum stuff that's added in. Like, there's so much cool
Nice.
concept art, and like the instruction booklets for the old games. Like, they have the every page of the booklets. It's just fun to like rifle through that. So like, yeah, Sonic Origins was a lot better than I expected. But I hear some bits are a little sketchier on Switch, so maybe tread with caution. But PS5, yeah, go ahead, play it.
I just played through Sonic 2 on the Nintendo Switch online thing on the Genesis app, and it was great. It brought back a lot of memories, and it actually made me realize, Sonic kind of gets too much shit. If I'm being honest, like Sonic 2 was really good. Like it felt fine mechanically. Like I always hear the complaints, like they never felt good. They were always terrible. But like I booted it up and played through the whole game, and I was like, this feels good to me. This doesn't feel all wonky like I always hear. Because I was just assumed that everyone else was telling the truth about that, but apparently everybody's lying because it feels good to me.
They're mechanically sound, yeah, but I realized from replaying the collection, I don't like 2. I like all the other games,
Really?
but I don't. Yeah, 2 like 2. It just feels like the enemy placement and the obstacle placement. It all just feels like cheap and frustrating to me in a way that like I don't feel about the other games. I don't know.
I was playing through Sonic CD for the first time a few weeks ago. I didn't beat it because my save's gone because my son restarted the game, but
Oh,
I really liked that game because of its just weirdness in terms of its color palette. Like it
Yeah,
looks so much different than the other two games.
it's very
Um,
pretty. Yeah,
yeah, so
and
I want to
Sega
replay that.
CD has like better audio too. The music sounds really nice. The quality of it.
Yeah. My son has been obsessed with all the classic Sonic games lately, so I've just been hearing that music non-stop on especially Sonic Mania music.
All right, well that's all pretty good stuff though.
Yeah.
So, John, I got to ask you because I know once the Yakuza phase was over, you talked about playing the Judgment games too. Did you not?
Mm.
Did you dive into those at all, or?
If I had, it'd be all I'm talking about. So
Yeah, I figured.
He's
I'm just-
holding off
You had
because
to
it's
do
going to overtake his life.
yeah, like I'm just kind of take care of business elsewhere before I return and do
There
these
you
last
go.
2 games. Like, plus, once I play the 2 Judgment games, then that's it.
Then
Like
it's
then
it.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
that's
out of
true.
games. So
That's true.
that's more incentive to take my time.
That's
Now,
how I
before
am
we-
when I watch TV shows. Like I'm so weird. I'll watch the whole season, and if it's a show I really like, I'll get to the finale, and I get that. Well, shit. If I watch the finale, there's no more, and so I'll honestly put it off for like 3 weeks before I watch the finale. Since
This
like,
3
Wow.
weeks.
it drives Brett nuts. He's like, dude, just fucking watch the finale, would you? He's like, I
no,
need to
because then
talk to you
the
about it.
journey's
Oh, man.
over.
Yeah, it's like
So-
it's done, and I'm all sad because there's no more.
So you're
That's
gonna
how I
watch
felt
the
with,
Better Call Saul finale and at like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
No,
how
that'll
I
be
felt
it.
with,
There's certain
Altered
shows I
Carbon,
can't
man.
wait, but did you watch season 2? Is that good? Altered Carbon.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering about that too.
I could not get into season
Okay.
2. I
couldn't either.
I mean, 1 is like a standalone, and like that story ends. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I tried so hard just to like it, but I think they should have brought back the whatever his name is, the original actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
I like him. He's a good actor, man. He's
Yeah,
one of
Yeah.
those
he was in
guys that
another
does
show.
so much and no one knows his name, but he's so good.
Yeah, he
Rick
played
Flag, that's
RoboCop,
his name.
and he was in another show where he was like a former junkie, and he was a cop now.
Detective.
And he's
The Killing.
yeah,
The Killing.
yeah.
So
He's
good,
fucking
dude.
phenomenal in that movie
I
or
love
that show.
Yep.
Now, I do want to give a quick shout out to BryDude87 in the TikTok chat. I always see his comments. He's a big supporter. He's really cool. I thought for sure, BryDude, that you were going to win all the consoles because he was literally commenting the answers. I was like, why are you telling people? Don't you want to win for yourself?
Yeah, it was on top of those hints.
Yeah, he was definitely on top
Who
of it.
ended up
so shout
winning?
out to him. Another guy who just came out of nowhere. he didn't comment to
his
nothing.
name
Right,
was
Rye dude
stupid.
instead of Bry dude.
No, his name was
Evil.
He has another account.
yeah.
It was probably just him.
Yeah,
what
like
was his
19
name, Mary?
different accounts
It was like
guessing every day.
it was PD something. I
Yeah,
can't remember the last part of it, but
What was the
it,
word again?
it was
It was
sand
Sand
You picked
slash.
the weirdest
Sand
word
slash?
ever. I would have never got that. Like, what? It really didn't make it easy.
Yeah.
He's like,
But,
do you ship to?
I was thinking he was going to be something like Master Chief or something. And when you told me the word,
Nah.
I was like, what the hell?
I mean, we said person, place, or being. That was like the one
Mhm.
big, because normally you would say thing, like person, place, or thing. But I was like, that doesn't sound Pokemon-y enough. So let's say being instead.
Yeah.
So yeah, sand slash was the word.
Hmm.
But yeah, anyway, Brett, what have you been playing lately?
You guys know how I love my little artsy indies. I'm playing a little indie right now. I don't know if you guys have heard it. It's called Breath of the Wild. Just
Oh,
a
yeah.
little game. Yeah, it's
Small little indie
been out
title.
for a few years, but not a lot of people know about it. It's really good.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I figured you guys wouldn't know about it.
Nah.
Yeah, I've been trudging my way through that since the last time I talked to you guys. I wasn't on the last week, but the week before, and I just started at that like the night before or something. And I finished the 4th Divine Beast last night or the night before, and so I just got to go.
Beat it.
Got to go freaking put the old D in Ganon and just get this whole thing done with. I never beat it the first time. I think I told you guys this. I played it like 60 hours before. Yeah, but I never beat it. And I figured I could go back and like Brett was telling me, he's like, just go back and like start it over, but just learn the mechanics for like an hour and then go back to your old save and just finish it. And I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna play it over again. It's so good, and I kind of want to experience that again anyway. So yeah, it's been awesome. I'm so happy I played it.
Do you have to delete your original save file when you start a new one?
No, but I did accidentally when I started it up and started a new game, I did accidentally erase my old save, but it was okay because I was planning on restarting it anyway, so it didn't end up being a problem. But I was thinking, like, if I was planning on resuming that save, I would have been so pissed off. Somehow I erased that save when I started the new one. I don't know how I did it, but
I gotta say, I'm kind of mad because I played through all of Breath of the Wild for the second time ever earlier this year, like not even that long ago, like 2 months ago or something. And during that time, I was like, man, I wish Brett or someone was playing it at the same time, because I've just like so much I want to talk about, because it's basically like re-experiencing the game for the first time ever, because it had been 5 years. So I was like going back, like scrolling all the way down podcasts to all the way back to 2017 to listen to people talk about the game, just so I could have someone to listen to talk about it.
It's one of those games. It's one of those games where when you're playing it, you just want to talk to people about it. Like I've talked to Brett a little bit as I'm playing it, but like you said, I wish there was someone that was like playing it together during when I'm playing it, so they had that excitement too. Because, dude, I don't know, something about this game, man. It's such a special game, and you guys all know this.
Have your kids played it?
My kids?
My youngest, I think he's asking me. Yeah, my daughter, she doesn't have the patience to learn like how to play a game like this yet. And my son is just like Call of Duty, Fortnite, sports games. So he gets bored by most single player games right now. I think when he gets older, he'll get into that kind of stuff. So they haven't, but yeah, my daughter will sit in the room with me while I'm playing and watch. She always asks me to go catch horses and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah. It's not that easy, and it's not really worth it. That was one thing I was talking to Brett about. That on Breath of the Wild 2, I really hope they make it where catching a horse is actually worth it, because so many open world games, it's like you almost have to have a horse to get from one point to the next. Like in like all the Assassin's Creeds and Ghost of Tsushima games like that, it's like you want a horse to traverse from one area to the next. But it's like it's almost worthless in Breath of the Wild. Like you get one and you get where you're going, and like if you fast travel, it doesn't come with you, which I understand. Most games it doesn't in a fast travel. But like if you get too far away from the horse, it won't hear you when you whistle. Where like almost every other game with the horse, it hears you wherever you are, whether that's realistic or not. I guess it's a game, so that doesn't matter. But like the only way to get it is to go back to a stable and and like
It's not
recall it back
convenient
to that
at
stable.
all.
No,
Yeah.
so it almost it's a bummer because I love having horses in open world games or like some kind of like vehicle of some kind. So that's like one gripe that I have of all the stuff I've loved about it. That's like one thing I hope they change, where like having a horse or something to ride on will actually be something that's worth it. And
Bring back Epona. In the original revealed stuff for Breath of the Wild, it was just one horse. Like they didn't say anything about multiple horses. They just called it what's her face? Epona. I just said it. I forgot already.
You need
and
the
I wish
amiibo.
that they stuck with that. And here's
Make
another thing I'm
horses
pissed
great
about.
again.
Here's what I'm
Here we
pissed
go.
about.
Here we go. ding, ding,
Ran-
ding, 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 ding.
They
Ladies
built
and gentlemen.
They built a full mechanic to have a freaking dirt bike in this open world. And you're telling me that you got to do like every single goddamn thing in the game to use it? Like, I want to use the dirt bike while I'm playing the game. What's the point of having it when you've done everything? Like,
once
that
you've
was the
done
most
anything,
pointless.
what's the point of
Or
It would've
whenever
been
you
so
just need to,
great.
you just need to ride around, collect more Koroks. There's
That's not
900 of
fun.
them.
It would have been great if I replayed the game like how I did earlier this year, but then had that freaking dirt bike with me. Like, that would have made it so much more fun.
Would've
Like,
been fun.
Just like traveling around using that. Like, that sounds awesome. And it would have totally changed the whole dynamic of the game. But I guess maybe that's why they wanted to wait until you have to do everything to unlock it.
Yeah. I don't know. To be fair, I feel like Breath of the Wild does a good job of at least offering alternatives to, traversing, the world around you. You can clumsily shield slide. What's the airlift you can do that you learn that throws you up in the air?
Glider?
Oh,
Something
Rivali's
to
Gale.
The jump.
Yeah,
the jump where,
that's like my favorite phrase too.
Yeah.
Rivali's
He knows
Gale.
what it's called. I love it. I just
I
got
can
that
remember.
last night.
But at least you have that, and like, at least floating to another place, getting to a higher, viewpoint,
Sure,
and then bouncing over. So I do agree with you, but I will say, I think there's at least alternatives to not having
sure.
a horse glued
Plus
to you the
fast-
entire game.
Plus, fast traveling is so easy and convenient in this game. Like it's like I think Bride Dude just said it too in the chat. He said horses are useless because you can teleport anywhere. I mean, that's kind of true. Like once you do enough shrines, anywhere you want to go, you just
teleport and then
you
glide.
really don't. You really don't even have to run that far between areas you need to go to, unless you're like in like a town or something like that, and you're going around that area. So yeah,
I'm hoping that in the sequel,
I'm loving it.
I'm hoping that there's a flying type animal like in Skyward Sword in the sequel.
The loft
I
wing.
think- Yeah, like a loft wing type thing. I think
I
that'd be really
love
cool.
that.
But I think it'd be cool if you didn't have it at like the start and like halfway through the game or like 3/4 through the game, then you get this like flying animal of some sort, and it like totally changes like the whole like mechanics of the game because you can just fly anywhere.
Hopefully you get it fairly early, because we were saying this about Horizon Forbidden West. We're like, that'd be so cool if you can finally get on a flying machine. And then we saw in the preview she's flying on something, but then you don't get it till the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like the motorcycle thing. Like, give me that shit early. I want to fly the
Yeah,
entire game. Not
that
at the
annoyed
end.
me.
Yeah,
Horizon.
Yeah, that was Horizon. What a disappointment, right, Brett? Come on.
Brett,
The
come
sequel
on.
to one of the best PS4 games? Come on, what was that? That was terrible.
Oh,
Remember them
boy.
people from the future? Come on. I'm just kidding. Actually, they were the coolest part of the game, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no,
but,
they were.
But
they
their
were
whole
some of the
purpose
most
was
interesting
kind of
stuff.
silly. They're like running away from something. I don't know. I won't spoil it, but yeah, Breath of the Wild. What a game! I can't wait for the sequel. We should just do like a whole episode talking about the sequel at some point, like just like what we want from it, all the different like stuff that we've seen. Because I feel like it's something we could talk about extensively. Because
Yeah.
I mean, but at this point, we haven't seen anything new ever since they gave us that 5-second clip of like Link with long hair and his arm was all cool looking.
The Broken Master Sword. That was the last thing, I think, when they
Yeah,
showed
like-
that.
Nintendo is doing a damn good job of at least teasing it, though, because like, I mean, we're all, I think, in agreement
Yeah,
that
kind of.
we're excited
They don't
for it.
even
We
need
want
to.
to know more. Shit.
They really don't even need to tease it. I mean, everyone like everyone that wants that game doesn't even need to see a screenshot, and they're gonna go buy it. So like, let's get this thing going, Nintendo. Come on.
Yeah.
When do you guys think we're gonna get it finally? Like at
Never.
next year's E3, like around that time, like in June?
No, it's supposed to come out in 2023.
Yeah.
December
Like-
2024.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like next
It's
year
supposed to
around
come
I
out
thought they
June.
said.
Spring.
I thought they said it was supposed to be early spring 2023.
Yeah, spring 2023.
So I think my prediction for a Nintendo Direct is September because it's going to be right before holiday season.
Ooh.
But so and it's still far enough out for them to do the spring games as well. So I think I'm thinking September for like a big Direct.
That's when PlayStation did their showcase last year, was September. I felt like that was a good time. It was far away enough from like the E3 hype where you could all like the hype would be centered solely around PlayStation at that
Exactly.
time. So it's kind of smart to do that.
Mhm.
Plus, I mean, obviously that they schedule events around that time so they can start like setting up all their holiday like promotions and all that. Like
Oh,
this
yeah.
is
For
what
sure.
this is what you're going to be buying for Christmas, etc.
Yeah. Doesn't Splatoon come out in September?
Sounds
Think
right.
so.
I think
yeah,
so.
it sounds right.
Yeah, so if they did that, it'd be like a last little marketing bit for Splatoon. They could talk about Pokemon in November, I think. There's so
Something
many
like
dates
that.
and so many things
Yeah,
have been
right?
delayed. I'm like, what's still coming this year? And then Breath of the Wild in spring 2023. So I think September.
That could be. Yeah, that sounds like a very smart guess too, because like that solidifies their end of the year fiscal goals, and maybe they will actually hit it. But my only question is like, are they going to have enough stock of hardware just in general? Because like still, when I go to the store, there's still slim pickings for Switch consoles.
Really? Just
Yeah.
the standard
Yeah, you
Switch.
still can't, which is crazy. I mean, you still can't
Yeah,
find that either.
even the standard Switch, it'll come in every so often at the Walmart I go to, but I remember for a while I was trying to get one for my nephew, and I just like sold out, even the bundles. And I'm like, good God.
Yeah. Last time I looked at, I think when I was at Target, I just like go by just to see like what do they have, I think they had like 5 of the Animal Crossing edition, no Switch Lites and no OLEDs, but they had 5 of the Animal Crossing ones.
That's crazy. I didn't think
Yeah.
we'd be this far into the, supply chain issues to the degree that it's, still affecting us summer 2022 going into a big holiday season. But I mean, who knows?
Yeah, it's apparently
crazy.
2023 we could still be having these issues. Like that's insane.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like how is there not an alternative to what they're short on that they could have figured out in 2 years? These guys are geniuses. How could they not figure out some kind of alternative? And maybe, I'm not a tech guy that much, so maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but you'd think there would be something that they would come up with that could be an alternative to what they need by this, 2 years, 2.5 years, not quite 2 years, almost
think
2
it's
years into the
mostly-
life cycle.
I think it's mostly just like a supply chain issue, though. And I mean, you can keep looking for like new suppliers, but I guess if everybody needs these supplies, and I think at some point everybody gets tapped out. Like again, I'm not a supply chain expert either, but yeah, that's just how the trend seems to be.
I guess the problem is the part that a lot of these parts that they need are being used for like other things too, like TVs and like washers and dryers and stuff like that. So it's
Sure.
like
And
it's not
hospital
just-
equipment, who needs that?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's tough.
Well, it's kind of like this.
I feel
the
bad
Steam
for
Deck,
people
the
that don't
Steam
have
Deck
them,
just
but-
didn't. Yeah, the Steam Deck just hit something like that, but it was with the internal SSD, and it actually has a slower speed than the newer ones that are coming out.
Perfect.
I've given up hope I'll ever get a Steam Deck. Me and Brett pre-ordered one the first day you could, and I've never gotten an email back from them.
Oh, I just got my alert like yesterday. I have a day to buy it,
Oh,
but
did
I
you?
don't know if I'm going to buy it.
I had my chance. Like I got the email. Like they said you have to claim it in the next like 4 days or something. And I was like, do I really want it? And then by the time I
That's where I was
remembered
at.
about it, I forgot that I had a time limit, so it was gone. And I regret not getting it. I want it
Yeah,
so
I
I
want
can
one.
play the frickin' restoration version of Resident Evil 4. That's the main reason why I want it. It's so I can play the modded RE4 with like all the enhanced textures and whatnot. It looks amazing. Mary, you haven't played RE4, or have you?
I played Resident Evil 4, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that should be your first version that you ever play, but if you already played it, never mind.
I played the GameCube version.
Yeah.
It's right behind me somewhere.
And the final verdict?
It's probably my favorite Resident Evil. I'm on my 3rd ever Resident Evil playthrough of like a game. So I guess I can go say what I'm playing now, since that's one of the things.
What are you
playing? I'm playing Resident Evil 1 Remake, actually thanks to the recommendation of our TikTok fans. I played Resident Evil 2 Remake, I played Resident Evil 4. Which one should I play next? Because I'm usually a giant weenie when it comes to like horror games. And yeah, people were like 3 or 1, or just do both. And I was like, okay, I'll do 1 first. So I've been playing through that. I was doing all right until last night, whenever basically nature just attacks, because then there's snakes, there's spiders, there's tentacles, there's bees, and like I hadn't had so many jump scares like back to back to back until that section of the game. Like I was looking at my Apple Watch, and like my heart rate was actually spiking at points. I'm having fun though, but I was like, I can't do this.
Now, how are you handling the controls? Because that's like a big thing that a lot of people don't like about this one.
It's taking a little bit getting used to with like the camera angles, like the fixed camera angle. I haven't run into too many problems with it, but there's definitely like some rooms where there's like a lot of like, I guess, furniture or stuff to like move around. And it's like, I'll be going one way and I'll think it's going to turn at a certain point, and then it doesn't. And then it finally turns, and then I'll move like a step this way, and suddenly it shifts again. So it's been a little funky at times. But overall, I haven't had too many issues with it.
Did you choose the controls where if you click forward, no matter what you're going forward, no matter how the camera changes, or do you choose the ones that where like if the camera changes, then you have to adjust the stick?
I chose whatever the newer version is.
I cannot do that. I cannot.
Okay.
I like the OG tank
so
controls.
Yeah, it's so much better in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, because the camera constantly changes, so no matter what, you got to constantly shift the stick. You could just hold forward and run forward the whole time, and yeah, the camera changes and whatnot. But as long as you see like which way your character's facing, it's easy to understand, in my opinion. But I don't know.
Yeah.
My
That
friend
always
CJ
feels weird to me, though. That always
you're
feels weird holding up when you're running down. To me,
You get used to it, I think.
I like it.
Yeah.
Generally,
I'd always like. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say generally Tyler84 said more RE for Mary, so you're gonna have to keep playing
Yeah.
But it's been fun. I'm like I said, I'm still a bit of a giant weight. Like I'm scared. I get scared easily by games. I can't play Phasmophobia. Like my friends beg me to, and I'm like no. But somehow like Resident Evil is like the genre I'm able to like get through.
Honestly, I think that's like a good turning point in horror games, because like it does get a little bit silly, some of the enemies and maybe some of the dialogue, and I think that was like, at least for me, way back when, like that was like a turning point in like, oh, this is it's not that scary, once you realize you can pretty much take down any monster. But I was gonna ask, did you play Zero yet?
Okay. I haven't.
It's one of my favorites.
Okay.
Zero's really good.
Yeah.
I started playing that like 6 months ago. I played like 3/4 of it, and I never finished it. I need to go back and finish it so I can add it to my beat game of the year list.
Remake's pretty good too, or the remaster, whatever you want to call it.
Of RE1?
Zero.
Oh, Zero. Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to like do another remake for RE1, because I feel like Capcom's been doing this thing where like once they remake a game, they sort of disregard the old one, and apparently that's the reason why they haven't added classic RE2 and 3 to modern consoles, because they're like, no, this is the definitive RE2 and 3. Like you don't want those old ones. But I kind of want them to remake 1 and like have like the modern visuals, like third person perspective. That would be
Love that.
awesome
That'd be cool.
because it's like one of the scariest Resident Evils still. Like the setting.
I kind of wish they would just started on 1 because they started on 2. And I know they technically remade 1, but like a modern remake of 1. How they did 2 and 3. Because now they did 2, 3, and they're going to be doing 4, but I feel like we need that for 1 still too. It feels kind of weird that 1 didn't get it, you know? But
honestly, I would have preferred if they did 1 Code Veronica and then 4. I feel like they're sort of rushing to 4 a bit quick.
That was like one of the best Dreamcast games ever.
But you just never want to see 4 get remade. That's why
I'm scared.
I'm being optimistic. I'm being optimistic.
I think it'll be good.
I just have to keep remembering that Resident Evil, the original, still exists. It's okay if they change a bunch of crap that I don't like. Like, I can still play the original. And Capcom's definitely not going to delist it or anything, right? Capcom, please don't.
Something tells me no matter how good it is, you're still not going to like it.
I'm going to like it. I think I'll like it. I'm going to constantly judge it because it's not going to be the same. And I feel like Resident Evil 4 is still amazing. Like, it's still the peak of gaming. There's nothing better than Resident Evil 4.
What if it's better than the original?
It's not the peak, but it's very good.
It's the peak.
It's not the peak, but it is very good.
So what if it's better than the original? Then what? Your whole life is a lie.
Is that possible?
Hang on. Brydude87 and the Becca on TikTok have both never played a Resident Evil game. We need them to do this as soon as possible.
All right,
change whatever you're doing in your life. Stop whatever you're doing in your life. Kids don't need it. Family doesn't matter. You got to go play Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil is a must for everyone. At least one of them. It's a must.
It like redefined a genre, basically.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Resident
like
Evil,
twice.
Tomb Raider, and Final Fantasy VII on the original PlayStation are like
my dog's going nuts.
What turned me into the gamer I am today. Like those 3 games on the PS1, because I always played games like Super Nintendo growing up and all that. But when I really turned into like a hardcore gamer, it was those 3 games, like Resident Evil, the first one, the first Tomb Raider, and Final Fantasy VII. So I have tons of nostalgia for anything Resident Evil, to be honest. But
I don't know what really was like the turning point. I feel like I played just the randomest games, like Turtles in Time, and then the Bruce Lee story, and then like Battletoads Double Dragon, and then I didn't even play Mario 64 up until I was like in college, I think.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
I played Mario 64 like at the peak of its popularity in like 98 or whenever that was, 97?
We're a PS1 household.
Yeah, me too. I was always jealous because my friends had a 64 and I didn't have one growing up, so
yeah.
My friend would bring a 64 over, we'd play GoldenEye, but like I did not myself own one, unfortunately.
My house was
both
Nintendo house.
Very elite.
John was rich. He was one of them rich families.
Wait, I had
TurboGrafx, John?
games.
I lived in a house of gold blocks instead of bricks.
Exactly. Surrounded by PS1s and N64s.
When I was a little kid,
my Game Boy?
When I was a little kid, there was a Richie Rich cartoon, and Richie Rich lived in a gold house, and so I thought all the rich people like lived in like gold mansions.
That's hilarious.
But cheapo losers.
Now, I never actually talked about what I was playing, so I'm gonna talk, guys. I started an iconic video game that's been received extremely well for years upon years, and I've never played it until now. And that game is Portal 2. Yes, I jumped straight to the second one because I heard it was better. And I watched like a recap of the first game, which was basically nothing except a guy escapes the thing.
You broke every rule of yours.
I just figured, man,
every rule
if I like Portal 2 enough, I'll just go play the first one. Like,
that's one game where I think you should have played the first one first.
Yeah,
I did watch a recap. Does that not count for anything?
You watch someone run and jump through a portal. That's the equivalent of a recap.
No, it was someone explaining all the story details and whatnot, which it seemed very thin.
girl wakes up in a facility and a robot mocks her. That's the story.
And then she escapes, and then she kills the robot. That's all you need to know. But yeah, dude, Portal 2, this game is great. It's absolutely great. Like, I can't believe I waited this long. Playing it on Switch, I bought it at $20 for both games. That's pretty good to me. And Brett went halvesies with me on it, so I was like, hell yeah. Because I went on a 6-hour drive the other day, so I played it for a few hours in the car, and then I've been playing it at my house. And yeah, the puzzle design it's perfect for me, at least so far. I'm in chapter 4 of 9, like halfway through chapter 4.
Oh yeah.
And it's not overwhelming like I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be absolute chaos of puzzleness, and it's not. Like it's totally like you can easily like comprehend like everything that's going on. And I love like just like using the momentum and all the different portals. And this is old news at this point, but yeah, I'm digging that the actual gameplay, the puzzles, and the story is very interesting as well. Like this one seems like it has way more to it in terms of the story. The writing's really funny as well. Like this robot girl who's talking to you, it's the same girl from the first game. But the same robot girl. And I didn't expect
J. Jonah Jameson's
Is it the same voice actor, Brett?
I
The same voice actor in both games.
Oh yeah,
Is
probably.
it the same voice? I'm just joking.
I didn't expect like in the beginning, it's not like this the whole time, but in the beginning, like the first hour, the production value with like all the different like set pieces, like with like grounds collapsing and like you're in buildings that are falling over. I'm like, man, that's like Uncharted, but freaking Portal. I was like, what the hell? So I did not expect that from this game in terms of the graphics and just like the presentation in general. I thought it was basically going to be like white walls and empty rooms and just you're going through portals, which that's probably what the first game was like more. But this one, like, there's a lot more going on in terms of the visual of the game, and it's at a 60 FPS 1080p on Switch. So it's like a really good port, and I'm not having any frame issues at all.
Nice.
Because I was debating, do I play it on Series X in 4K at 30 FPS or 1080p 60 FPS on Switch where I can take it portably? And I chose to go Switch with Brett on halvesies with it. But yeah, it's really good so far. I'm enjoying it. I'm pretty sure I'll probably beat it by the next episode. So I'll have a lot more to say, I'm sure. But yeah, Portal 2.
Play the co-op mode.
Yeah, I need to play that.
Yeah,
Brett, we're gonna play that.
Really
If we both
good.
beat it, we'll have to do that. Yeah, and he played it when he was out of town. I'm going out of town tomorrow, so I'll probably play it in the hotel tomorrow.
I think you're gonna like it a lot. I think you said you played some of it in the past, but now you're a lot smarter nowadays, so I think you'll enjoy it more.
Right.
The moment you shave that mustache off, you gain like 10 IQ points.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, guys, I do want to shout out one more time to Eric for putting this TikTok together. What a beautiful freaking TikTok screen! Like, I'm just in awe at how great it looks. So thanks once again, Eric. And if you're joining us on TikTok, thanks so much. This is our first stream. Might not be a lot of action. Hopefully, we can build this up over the next few weeks. We did want to do this as like a test episode without any marketing or any promotion. So hopefully, episode 2, if all this goes well, we'll have more people in here. We'll like promote it on the website and whatnot. But yeah. Now,
also,
Mary.
Eric said that Risky in the chat said, "What's our opinion on Steam Deck destroying Nintendo right now?"
Oh,
shots fired, huh? Okay.
Nothing is destroying Switch.
It'll be.
I was like, is it destroying Switch?
Maybe for a couple days. Come on now. Come on.
People
Switch is
don't think
beating
they can find
PS5 and
the Steam Deck,
Xbox. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think
competition.
sooner or later, I bet the Steam Deck right now is selling more than Switch because it's a brand new thing. The Switch is 5 years old. But I think once the demand is there for the Steam Deck, the sales will really start to slow down. I don't think it's like this mass appeal device, but I think like gaming enthusiasts can get a lot of value out of it, which is why I've been debating getting it. And I think it's going to do well. It's probably going to sell well. But Switch numbers, never in a million years. This is not going to sell over 100 million units. No way.
That's not going to happen.
But it seems really cool.
We were talking about supply chain issues earlier, and I guess Eric said that it also has issues with the CPU fan finding materials to also make that. So, I mean, you figure all these devices are probably using some of the same companies to produce them. Whether it's the screens or the OLEDs or the chips. So, I mean, everybody's is facing some constraints when producing them, mass producing. But I also think it gives like Nintendo a little bit of insight onto like, I mean, if people are saying, like breaking down, why the Steam Deck is like has positives over the Switch, blah 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 blah. Hopefully Nintendo is taking that into consideration to make improvements, or have those features available on whatever the next Switch, whatever the hell that looks like. So I think that's also kind of cool, the competition that could potentially come out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
Though I can't help but feel like Nintendo doesn't actually care at all about the Steam
probably
Deck.
not.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they do some market research,
Yeah.
Nintendo never cares about what the competition's doing. Let's be honest. They're like, we know that people are going to buy our shit by the bazillions anyways, no matter what we do. So.
They're aware of what the competition does, and they're like, but we're going to keep doing whatever it is we're doing.
Yeah, I don't even think Nintendo knows what they're doing. Like, I don't even think they really know why the Switch is such a big success. Like, I feel like after the Wii U selling like 13 million units or something in its total lifetime, like that's insane that the Switch would end up selling over 100 million. But I guess that's what happens when you combine your handheld audience and your console audience.
Yeah.
So.
Like if they would have never looked at the competition, would they have ever included a capture button? Like I feel like that was something that always stood out to me as odd on a Nintendo device, but also like everybody was about doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because I've been going through Fire Emblem games like crazy too, but like I was playing like one of the 3DS ones, I was playing Echoes, and I really wanted to take screenshots. And I was like, but I can't. There's no like way to easily like take a screenshot. And I was like, gosh, I've been spoiled with like that button on my Switch.
Right?
Yeah.
I remember in the marketing initially they like kept covering it up, or they wouldn't detail what it was exactly until like the full reveal.
Oh yeah, because people were like, it looks like a camera, like the little button looks like a circle with like a square camera, but like we didn't really know for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the capture button, like the share functions in general, and these like modern consoles, not really modern anymore. They came out like the PS4 and Xbox One had them, but the whole like sharing functionality with all these modern consoles is really cool in my opinion, and it's free marketing. Of course, Nintendo did it. Like you take a picture of your cute like your Nintendog or whatever, which they don't have on Switch, but it's the one game that came to mind. You take a picture of it, you post it on Twitter. That's free marketing for Nintendo. It even adds the hashtags for you, so they're already there.
Yeah. I captured so much Kirby just like I just thought it was so cute.
Yeah. Speaking of Kirby, this is the main topic of the episode.
Not yet. We haven't found out what Greg's playing.
What do you think I'm playing?
And Mary didn't talk about Fire Emblem, but we got to talk about Kirby, guys. Greg, do you have anything to say about Apex Legends?
Yeah, I do. There's a bug. I'm mad. Yeah. I guess Valk, when you like your abilities get disabled after you go to the replicator station, and I'm pretty pissed about that because I was having some fire games and I nailed like a 300-yard sniper shot and, dropped some guys, and I still got it after taking a little break, but it just completely destroys the experience, and I had to quit. So Respawn, if you're listening, which you're probably not, somebody yell at them for me, but fix the damn game.
Oh no!
Fix the damn game, says Greg Vargas.
How long was a little break? 2 days?
No, I took like
He's
playing
after a little break.
2 hours he took off.
Probably like 2 weeks, a week and a half.
Oh wow!
Because during the season they have a map rotation. Yeah, well, during the season they have a map rotation, and so you play ranked on a certain map, and then after a while you get like they have your scores or your rank, and then you start on another one, and so the one that we were on last time, and in each one's like different in size and scale, but it just got to me where I was like, this doesn't feel fun. And so I was like, I got to take a little break from this, which allowed me to play Turtles and other games. But
yeah, I still got to get to Turtles. That's been sitting on my home screen.
Come on, man.
I've been too busy playing Tales of Arise, which I sunk like 15 hours in. That's pretty good so far. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We got to talk about Kirby and what's it called, Mary? I already forgot the name of it.
Dream Buffet.
You don't remember either.
Dream
John?
Buffet.
Dream Buffet.
Yeah.
Kirby Dream
Kirby
Buffet.
guys.
It looks like it's a
Or a
competitive
Kirby party.
rolling Kirby game where you're going through these obstacles, kind of looking like Fall Guys in some ways.
Yeah.
And you're eating up
Fall
some
Guys,
food,
Mario Party.
and you're also getting bigger as you go. So it looks like
Kirby
a lot of fun, to
Royale?
be honest. My question is, does this game have like a single player component of any sort, or is this just like a
I
pick
doubt
up and
it.
play with friends only style game?
Nice if they
Yeah,
were
I
just
doubt
like
it.
AI
It looks
opponents.
fully multiplayer. Then again, we only saw a minute of what it was, so who knows really? But
Ah, okay. Apparently 1 to 4 players.
Yeah.
1 to 4
Yeah, but I'm
players.
wondering
I
if
think
it's
you meant
like-
like some kind of a story mode
Or
or
like a
something.
campaign of some sort, or
Like
is
a
it just like
campaign, yeah.
you start doing
Pretend
like
there's
these?
a campaign as you go through the obstacle
No.
levels.
No,
You can make some voices.
I want to know if there's
I
like levels that you
Well,
go
like-
through that you have to compete in, and then if you beat it, then you move on to the next one. Like that would be cool.
Nah.
Like Splatoon, for example, that's always been a multiplayer game, but this one they're having a story mode.
Single player,
right?
yeah.
For the first time. Yeah, the first time they've ever had like a single player story mode. That's kind of
Aside from the DLC for Splatoon 2.
Oh, look at
But,
that.
that's
right.
blue
There was
one.
no like single playerish campaign prior to that.
I think there was like these
Nope.
trials, but it wasn't like a campaign. It was like a
Oh.
like a test your skills type mode that you could play
Okay.
alone. Something like
Gotcha.
that. But I'll be honest, I've never played any Splatoon games, so I don't fully
Yeah,
know.
okay, yeah, I've never
Um,
played Splatoon either.
Yeah,
Eric says
neither have I.
Not my
Splatoon 2
game.
had a story mode.
I
Yeah,
thought
so
that
I
story
think they
mode was
do.
only the
The
DLC, like
Octoling
the
expansion.
yeah.
Or the Octo expansion, I should say. Yeah,
I don't know.
We're a very
But-
good Nintendo podcast.
Exactly, we know everything about Nintendo.
Right.
Mhm.
None of us have played
But-
Splatoon.
But Nintendo did put emphasis on the fact that Splatoon 3 is going to be more like single player focused. Like, at least that's what I thought they said. But aside from that, I mean, Kirby. Is there any? Does anybody have any thoughts? Greg, any thoughts on Kirby?
I don't know. It looks fun. Looks like it might have been maybe a challenge mode from the recent Kirby
Forgotten
game
Land.
that like maybe no, was it Forgotten Land? Yeah,
Yeah.
that maybe they were like, this is too good and too fun to not make a game out of it. They didn't talk
How
price,
much will
right?
it cost?
I know. I was
But we
about to
don't-
say,
we
how
don't know
much
the
do we
price
think?
or the release date. I'm
I
guessing like
say-
I can see
20
it being a
bucks.
free to play game.
$20 free to
$24.99.
play?
I think it'll be 20 bucks.
I think it'll be $29.99.
I
Yeah, I
said
saw
$24.99.
That's true.
I
This
saw-
is Nintendo we're talking about. It's going to be
Yeah.
$60.
Yeah, but and I saw some people talking about it online. What if it's included with your Nintendo Switch Online Plus
That'd be cool.
subscription?
They
Ooh.
need to. So recently, they put an entire game on that, which was like, okay, now they're doing some cool stuff. They put Mario Rabbids on Switch Online. They need to do more of that, but a bit more frequently, I think. And then I think, like, their subscription service apparently it's doing very well. Like, apparently there's millions of
How?
subscribers, but like, I just don't understand how it's keeping people around. Like, there's barely any new games ever added. The Nintendo 64 games have been slowly trickling out. Like, they have
One a
such a backlog of games that they can add, and they're adding like one every 1 or 2 months.
It's one each
Um,
month. Yeah.
It's one each month.
Yeah.
Okay, that just seems like a little low to me for a subscription service that's supposed to entice you to stick around.
Yeah, but they've got the big ones though. They've got Zelda, they've got Star Fox, F-Zero. Like those are like really popular, and people will play the hell out of those like over and over again. And like to some people, like that's worth a subscription.
What I think would be really cool, is if they somehow modded in like co-op for Ocarina of Time and did crazy stuff like that with these older games. Because they did add like online multiplayer for a lot of like the SNES games, and I think in 64, right? There's online multiplayer for some, like F-Zero.
So
Mhm.
So
Some of them, I
it would be
think.
so cool if they went in and like actually put in this like new mode in like Super Mario 64 where you can like run around with your friend. I think that would be like really awesome.
I feel like
That
way
would
too
get me
much
to
of a
stick
value
around.
add for them though.
Yeah, that'd probably be something
That's
they
a
would
lot
do.
of effort.
And then they'd be like, you know what? Let's just charge $60 for this. We ain't giving this out for free on our stupid.
We're giving you a bare
subscription
minimum
service."
port, and you'll like it.
Yep.
But yeah, I do wish that they would like have a little more fun with their subscription service when it comes to offering like DLC for random games. Like, why isn't the Splatoon 2 game on that subscription service? Like, that would get me to actually play it, and then maybe I'd end up buying that expansion that I've always wanted to play. Just like put an older game on there for 2 weeks. I mean, they did. They put Mario and Rabbids, but like keep doing that, Nintendo, please. Now, back to Kirby. Kirby and the Forgotten Land was the best game of the year so far. I'll just say it, all right? It was the best game of the year. And I did not play Elden Ring, keep that in mind. And it made me
never play Elden Ring.
Kirby believer, a Kirby-believer. All right? So any Kirby game that comes out nowadays, my eye is on it because I'm like, you proved me wrong this last time. I'm officially a Kirby fan, which I already was before, kind of, but now I'm back into the Kirby games. So if this actually reviews pretty well, I might pick it up. Unless it's free, then I'll just play it.
I was just saying this earlier today. Like, I don't know if this was done purposefully or not, but this came out at the perfect time because they're totally going to cash in on like the how many people played Kirby and were surprised at how much they liked it. Now people are going to be like, well, since I loved that so much, let's see what else, there is that Kirby's involved in. And where many people probably wouldn't touch this upcoming Kirby game, Kirby Guys, Kirby Party, where the hell it is, because they liked Forgotten Land so much, they're probably going to check it out. Dream Buffet.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land probably. I mean, this game's already been like in development, but I bet that game being received so well and selling so well, it probably changed the whole trajectory of what this series is going to be. I hope, honestly.
I think what I meant by that was I wonder if they started developing it after they realized that Forgotten Land was going to be something special, and they're like, okay, well, we could drop this a few months after. And it's not going to be like Forgotten Land level, or it's not going to be as good as that game. But if this hits like we think it's going to, then people are probably going to buy this too. You know what I mean? Like they might have.
They had it done like 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
They were just sitting on it. Like, hey, we have those Kirby games back there.
Like, I mean, the thing with Kirby though is like we're kind of used to this being a franchise that gets like lots of random spin-offs and stuff, and like Eric mentioned in our chat, like Kirby Fighters 2 came out. That was like, it was like about 2 years ago. That's another $20 game that like nobody really asked for it. They just did it, and now it's there. And like that's basically what I assume this game came from. I presume it's just sort of like, so what's another like fun multiplayer budget thing we can do with Kirby? And they were like, Fall Guys is popular, and somebody said, let's do it. And here this game is. Like that's my impression of what this is. And I think it could be totally fun. Who knows? But
it could be.
I wouldn't be shocked if this had like no connection to like the success of Forgotten Land.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been cool.
No, it probably isn't. It probably has nothing to do with it.
I think it would have been cool if this game was like full blown in the Kirby and the Forgotten Land style gameplay, and then you're going through a level like Fall Guys, and you can like eat some things and like have their abilities and just try and knock everyone out of your way and like get to the end of the level. I think that'd be dope. And like have the enemies like spawn randomly. Yeah, but you're just balls rolling around.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we've seen so far. Right? There's
that face that they make Kirby have in the very beginning of the trailer was hilarious.
Yeah.
That one.
Right there.
Yeah. It just like brings me so much joy.
Look at that. They knew
happy.
They were gonna crack everyone up.
That's why Kirby and the Forgotten Land came out at like the perfect time, because I was so depressed. But then playing that game, like gave me a little serotonin.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me that if you would have told me before this year started that this year would have Horizon Forbidden West, a massive Elden Ring, God of War is going to be coming out, and possibly my favorite game of the year was going to be fucking Kirby, I would have never believed you. Like,
right?
I still can't believe how much I love that game.
Yeah, what a great game. Like I can actually see myself replaying that game in like a year. Like that's how much it just brings joy to you. Like if you're feeling stressed out, go play Kirby in the Forgotten Land, or maybe this game if this ends up being good. They said it was next year, right? Or did they say?
I know this is like summer 2022.
Summer 22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like
cool. So it's coming very soon.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So
thought
makes
they
me
for
think
some
it could
reason
be like a
pushed it
free to play
further.
or something.
Yeah,
Who knows?
or maybe like
We'll
at the
find out
next direct next week. No, I'm just kidding. At the next direct, they'll say like this is available right now for like $10 or something, or free or $60. It's Nintendo.
Kirby,
we don't know.
With Kirby
$60.
Fighters 2, I think it just like suddenly appeared on the eShop. Like, I think there was like maybe just like a leaked listing on the Nintendo.com website. Might have been Japan or maybe it was English. I don't know. But like just sort of like one day in advance, they made note that like it existed and it might have been an accident. And then 24 hours later, oh yeah, here's this brand new game that we've announced and now it's on the eShop. So like you just never know what Nintendo's gonna do.
They're unpredictable. That's kind of why I love them. But yeah, Kirby looks pretty cool. What, Greg?
Do you think if they were a little bit more transparent with their business practices or what they have going on in development, that people wouldn't try to like leak so much of Nintendo information?
No. Leakers like to leak just because they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, leakers want to leak what Troy Breaker ate for breakfast. I mean, they'll leak anything.
Yeah. It's all about that Twitter clout.
He had eggs and.
I get what you mean, though, Greg. I get what you mean. Like, if they were more transparent, would it stop people from like coming up with these weird, like grandiose, like ideas of what they could possibly be working on when in reality they're probably not? And then it gets people's hopes up on something that's not even real. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like they play their
that's
cards
the worst
closer
part
to the chest
of
than PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've both been bad lately. Like Nintendo and PlayStation. There's been rumors since early May that both Nintendo and PlayStation were going to have like a direct and a showcase. And now we are midway through July and neither of them have done it. Like, so it's like, what the hell is going on with these two companies?
All right, guys.
Nobody knows.
Let's talk about a little game coming out later this month that probably only I care about, called Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
You're going to say Stray. I was about to slap you across the room.
It's a Nintendo podcast. But yeah, so Xenoblade Chronicles previews came out. Very positive. I'm extremely excited. I only barely looked at any of them because I don't really want to know much, because I feel like not knowing anything is just going to inherently make the experience better. But I did see that people are very high on it. So I wanted to play a little game called Guess the Metacritic Score. So we're going to guess the Metacritic score for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And whoever gets the closest wins nothing. They just win. But if you go over...
PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X and a Nintendo Switch
OLED model.
I'm not playing this unless I get that.
If you go over,
sand
it
noodle?
doesn't count. It'll be whoever's the closest. But if you go over, then you lose. So if you has to be on it or below or closest.
So it's like
Price
the Price
is Right
is Right
rules.
Yeah, Price is Right. So Eric already commented in the chat. He's going with an 86. I'm going to be a little wild here. I'm going to say a 91 on Metacritic. One of the highest rated games of the year. Now, John, what are you thinking?
Man, I don't know. I don't know, like 85.
85.
Ooh, he's undercutting Eric by a point. Ooh, that's tough.
I gotta write these down.
Well,
write these down.
Okay,
That's
Eric's
that's like the old classic thing they do on Prices Right. Someone's like 14,000, and they're like 13,999.
You reversed it, but
undercut.
Yeah.
I mean, so
4,000, 14,001. Yeah,
there's that.
Those
the
people are
actual
horrible.
retail price.
Yeah,
there's that
yeah,
family.
that's so messed up.
There's like a Family Guy skit where he says like 13,999 or something. He just looks at him and goes, "Dick," like because he just undercut him by one number.
Yeah, those people should die.
Eric, I didn't say 96. I said 91. Jesus Christ. It's not one of the best games ever made.
Yeah, this game is almost as good as Breath of the Wild.
Mary, where are you thinking?
I don't know. I was gonna say 85 as well, but I want to pick the same number.
I mean,
I
you
will
can.
go. I will go 87.
Same guy.
I don't think it's
One
gonna be in the
shall we pick the
90s.
same?
No.
Brett and Greg are next.
You go for it, Greg.
If either of you like lowballs it, you win no matter what. If everyone's over.
73.
73. Wow. Brett, where are you gonna go? Smack dab in the middle of those.
He's playing the strategic game there. I want to say that 91 is crazy, but I mean, there is such thing as a Nintendo bump, so it's possible.
Let's go ahead and add Brydude 87. He says 88, and the Becca says 69. So let's just go ahead and add them to the list.
I hope
Come on,
Becca's
Becca. She
right.
just did that for
69
fun. She
would be
doesn't.
funny.
that would be amazing.
My other guess was gonna be 89, but I didn't get a feeling that it would be that high because, like, I don't know. I guess Metacritic is pretty strict sometimes, like to really break that threshold. I don't know.
To
But
be
this is
completely
Nintendo
honest,
bias we're talking about. Nintendo bias. You got to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I mean, the picks I would pick have already been taken, so I'm just going to say 83.
You son of a. Yeah. Take your 83.
All right. We have everyone. Eric at 86, John at 85, me at 91, Mary at 87, Greg at 73, right? And then Brett Larson at 83, yeah. Brydude 87 at 88. He was 1 point off there. The Becca is at 69. The Becca thinks this game's going to be pretty damn bad.
In a sexy way.
Yeah. In a really good way.
In a fourth grade sexy way.
Yeah.
I didn't read like any of the previews that went up for the game, like I guess in the last week or whatever, but like scanning Twitter, it sounded like it kind of opens like all the other games where like there's just like this huge world and you're like, ah man, now what do I do? Like, because it gives you a million things you can check out.
Oh, and Xenoblade 3.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man. I'll
Xeno...
I'll probably do a lot of mainlining, to be honest. I don't really the side stuff in the previous games wasn't really that great, so I highly doubt it is in this one. But
it's just so many freaking fetch quests.
Yeah.
So Xenoblade 1 got a 92. Xenoblade 2 got an 83.
Damn.
So I mean, that's possible. It could be in the 90s. I didn't realize the first one scored that high.
The first one, when it came out on the Wii, like it just felt like something awesome and new.
Yeah,
you've never played a video game where like the environments were like giant creatures, like you're on top of like a giant's shoulder, you know, like that was really novel. That was really cool stuff.
Yeah,
and it looked like a game that wouldn't have been able to run on the GameCube, whereas like because the Wii wasn't that much more powerful than the GameCube, so it looked like a game that was actually taking advantage of the Wii's slightly more powerful hardware.
Sure. Yeah. And then with the second game, like I know a lot of people love the second one, but to me it just felt like too much more of the same, except I didn't care as much about the characters and stuff. So like I understand why that game had a lower score. But now I'm curious to see what Xenoblade Chronicles X had. I'm gonna check that quick.
It's 84.
Wow.
All right, that's actually better than I was expecting, but
Yeah, I still want to get to that, but I know the second I pay $60 for it, it's gonna get ported to Switch. So if, like I've said, if they don't announce a port by the time the Wii U eShop is fully shutting down, I'm buying it on Wii U. But I'm gonna be pissed if they wait to announce a port like until then, which they probably will.
I just saw a Wii U copy of it over the weekend. I should have bought it.
I'm just gonna buy it digitally. Digitally is just way more convenient, even though your money's going towards...
Am I the only one that hasn't played these games? Greg, have you played them?
I started, but
he played it recently.
I haven't played them.
I need to make some
Brett's
progress.
trying to talk me into going halvesies on 3, and I want to. I just wonder if I'll like them or not. Like, I'm not
actually,
that big into this type of game.
Brett, I have a I have a I can't think of the word, but how about I pay 40, you pay 20, so that's less less to worry about on your end.
If I'm gonna do it, I'm not gonna sweat you on that. I just wonder if I would even play it because I just don't want to. You know what I mean? Like this isn't my type of game, so I just don't know. But
I didn't think so either, dude. But
the way you guys talk about it, I think I could possibly get into it.
I mean, John doesn't even really like the series.
I liked 1 a lot when it first came out on the Wii, and I love the exploration in the Wii U one. And yeah, the second one kind of sucks, but I played it for like 90 hours anyway, which segues into the point I was going to make.
It sucks, so I played it for 90 hours.
Yeah,
it's longer than most games anyone ever plays.
I kept hoping it would get good, and it just didn't. But
yeah,
these games are real time investments, so like I fully understand your apprehension. Like if you don't, in fact, even with the original Wii release, when it came out, I bought it at launch. I played it once, decided I hated the combat, and didn't touch it for years. And then when Xenoblade Chronicles X was first announced, and it looked incredible, and then I went back and tried the first again, and then I loved it for whatever reason. I don't know what changed in that time, but
you grew.
Yeah. And then X came out, and like the story was garbage.
Dude.
But
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, but the exploration's fantastic. Like I've talked about before, how like flying around in the giant robots in Xenoblade Chronicles X, it's like so much fun. You don't actually get to fly until like around the end of the game, but once you get it, it's so much fun. You get the giant robots around like halfway into the game, or like I don't know, like maybe like 30 hours in, but at first they can only walk. Then like another like I don't know, 10 to 20 hours later, you get like the boosters or whatever, and then you can fly everywhere, and like I
want that
back.
back.
Scale is amazing.
Like, I want that in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Like I think that'd be really cool. What if it's like a secret they're hiding that's in the game? That'd be dope.
That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be a way to increase sales. All of a sudden, giant robots flying around.
These games have always been on the same engine, I believe, so I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to implement that again into a newer game. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. The story seems really cool. Like, I won't spoil anything because I probably know more than I would have wanted to, but the story seems really good for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And visually, this is of course a Switch game, but I think all the different like areas that they have, all the different levels, they look very diverse in terms of the types of environments. Like it's not going to blow your mind in terms of the actual visual fidelity, but I do like all the different color palettes and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to get to know these characters and stuff.
Is it
not to get off topic,
I don't know, Greg.
I don't know.
What, Brett?
Not to get off topic, but did you guys see the Metacritic for the new Resident Evil series on Netflix?
No.
Reviews are out for that?
57.
Ooh, better than I thought. Better than I thought.
For a TV show, that's actually the ballpark,
I love Lance Reddick, so I was hoping so bad it was gonna like something decent.
It might be alright. I'm gonna watch it.
Like,
I'll still watch it.
Just looked like garbage to me all along. Like I didn't even watch the animated series, which I hear is also terrible.
Yeah, I didn't bother with that, but sometimes the over-the-top crap is like fun to just sit and watch, though, too. So I was thinking maybe this would be like that, where it's like you can just sit and turn your mind off and like enjoy it. But 57's pretty rough.
Yeah.
And again, it's only been 6 reviews so far, so that could change. Who knows?
Yeah, but I doubt it. It'll probably go down.
Probably get worse.
I'm assuming the Rotten Tomatoes is at like a 0 because they all reviewed lower than a 6 or whatever the rules are over there. But yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is apparently going to be 15 gigs, says Greg. That says it on the official Nintendo website, so that's pretty big. Luckily, I have a 400 gigabyte card in my Switch, so I can fit it no problem.
Heyo.
Yeah.
I do too, but it's almost filled up.
Yeah, I constantly have to delete stuff.
Jeez.
But I just deleted a bunch of stuff last night.
It's only because of all the different games I've reviewed over time, though. I'm not a digital first purchaser by any means, but yeah.
Code's code.
Yeah. I got a terabyte for my PS5 a few months ago, and that's full. And I'm like, why do I even care? There's like dozens of games on there. Why, like, just delete a whole bunch of them. Who cares? Like, I get full and I'm like, well, shit, now I got to delete something. But in reality, like, how many do I even need on there? 5 or 6 at any time, you know? Like,
my main thing with PS5 and Xbox to an extent, but you can still go to all your games on Xbox, which you can on PS5 as well. So it's like the same. What I like about Switch is that you can keep a game on your home screen, even if it's not downloaded. And I like doing that because if I delete it and it completely disappears, I'm gonna forget about it and I'm never gonna see it again. And it's gonna be a game that I like want to play one day. But I guess you could say if it's a game you don't remember, then you don't care enough to play it. But
be like that.
But yeah, I do like that on Switch how you can keep it on the home screen and whatnot, even when it's not downloaded.
Is there anything that you've actually done that, or just?
Yeah, there's constantly games on my home screen that aren't downloaded, but I actually want to play one day. But guys, I do want to say the Switch hardware, it's more forward thinking and flexible and cool and super and futuristic than the PS5 and the Series X for one reason, and you know why? You can connect freaking a Bluetooth headset to it without having to buy some weird-ass proprietary giant headset that you don't want to wear. I love that I'm wearing my AirPods all day long on my phone, and I boot up my Switch, go into the settings, click connect to AirPods. I don't got to do no like anything else. Just connect to AirPods, and cool. It immediately switches from my phone to Switch. And it's so convenient, and I wish the other consoles could do that. So shout out to the Switch for doing something right when it comes to hardware.
For sure.
When did they add that?
All the things they don't do.
Probably a year ago. But yeah.
Was it? Doesn't seem that
it was a while ago.
It was a while ago now.
I never took advantage of it until recently because I didn't realize it was so easy. Like I didn't know the Switch would remember the headphones, so I just always have to click connect, and then it's just instantly connected. And they work with my Xbox headset as well.
Oh, nice. September.
I don't think I own anything that even like utilizes Bluetooth. So like I remember at Nintendo Enthusiasts writing up that news and like it like exploded and everyone was freaking out for days and we were getting so much traffic off that article. And it's like, I don't even use Bluetooth. I don't know why it's a big deal. I didn't care. But everyone else on Earth was excited.
That's funny. But yeah, not much else going on in the news. I was scrolling down the list over on Destructoid.com. It's not really Destructoid. Pikmin Bloom gets a notable update. Some gym leaders leaked for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, so they never actually confirmed gym leaders for the game, I don't believe, so that sort of confirms that. That's exciting. But back to Xenoblade. Sorry, I did want to say... damn, now I can't remember. I lost it. Never mind.
It's gone.
Well, guys, it's been a good episode. We've been going about an hour 20. So
from that note,
last week we just kept going for some reason. We had nothing to talk about, so I want to avoid that this week. Like the conversation's over. We don't gotta keep streaming. We can just say our goodbyes.
We haven't talked about Fire Emblem yet.
Oh yeah, Mary beat Fire Emblem. Talk all about it.
We gotta have our 30-minute
Fire
see you guys
later.
Bye, Greg.
I beat it. I'm gonna restart another route soon. That's all I have.
You're crazy. I looked at my Switch clock and it said like 50 or 55 hours or something, including the demo. And I'm done with that game. Like I'm never playing the game again. Like that's enough for me. I would never think about doing a whole nother run like Mary. Like you're insane.
Do the other ones. I have to know because they're so different.
And even those ones can be different. Like they can all change every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But I'll be honest, story-wise, it let me down a little bit because it didn't go as big as I was hoping it would. And it ended very quickly. And I was like, oh, that was kind of like anticlimactic. But I did like the journey and the structure of the game and the combat and like building your convoy. I loved so much about the game, honestly.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a little disappointing. And I sort of lost the plot a little bit, if I'm being honest. Like, started getting harder to follow. But it was somewhat... Like I understood like some elements, but definitely not all of it. But Mary, tell us all about your experience. How do you like it? You beat it. What's up?
I was pretty satisfied with the ending. I did the Azure Gleam route. I didn't want it to end. Whenever like it was like final chapter, I was like, oh no, like I'm not ready yet. But I'd say I'm pretty satisfied with how that one ended. It was a little emotional. and I just kind of like sit there and like I was in Discord with like some of my friends and I was like, I don't know what to, and I couldn't really tell them what happened because they're playing different routes. And I was like, I just have a lot of feelings right now about what just happened. But it's a very, very good game. And it's holding me over as far as Fire Emblem goes since I've been on a Fire Emblem streak like this year. So.
Yeah. You've been going nuts, Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Game of the year status or top contender?
Top contender, I think, which is odd for me to say for like a Warriors game. Like usually, like I stated before when I first started playing it, like Warriors games usually aren't my vibe. But I'm like, is it because it's Fire Emblem and Warriors? Is it because it's the Three Houses story kind of like made it in like a different way? It's obviously not like a continuation of Three Houses. It's its own plot and story. But like Fire Emblem Three Houses was really just like such a good game, and like I did play all the routes in that game, which Brett told me I was crazy for because that game's even longer than like a Warriors game. So I'm kind of like, am I slightly biased in like that way that like I loved Three Houses so much, but it's in my top 5 at the moment as far as games I've played so far this year.
I need to look at a list of actual 2022 games I've played this year because I feel like most of the games I've played were like older games.
Mine's been a mix.
Yeah, Kirby definitely comes to mind as being like one of the best 2022 games I've played. It honestly might be my favorite. But there was something else this year that I feel like I just beat it not that long ago.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh no, that was terrible. Actually, that was not what came out. It was Horizon it was Horizon Forbidden West. I got it mixed up with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Burn it with fire.
Brett, what's your favorite game of the year so far? I'm curious. Oh, Kirby probably.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to say that because for being such a big PlayStation fan, I so badly want to say Horizon, and I did love Horizon, but I got to give the edge to Kirby, man.
Honestly, Pokemon Arceus I liked a lot. It's up there with Kirby, to be honest. Like I like that game so much.
It's GameCube graphics.
It's gonna be a tight race. Yeah. It's gonna be a tight race, like because right now it's kind of been like Elden Ring is like so far ahead of the pack. But you know, if God of War Ragnarok comes out and is anywhere close to the 2018
Are you talking about like Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year? I don't care about their choice. I care about my choice for Game of the Year.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, the Game of the Year for like the public too. I know what mine's gonna be, but I don't
like that Jeff Keighley's show has become like the definitive game of the year.
Yeah.
Like it's just one guy's show where they get some votes from some people who aren't any more credible than like anyone making content on the internet. It's really not that big a deal in my opinion, but I mean,
Jeff says it's a big deal, so it's a big deal.
But if it was before Jeff, what was it then?
Yeah. Ooh.
You know, but before Jeff, what was it? IGN was like the big one.
I would say there was never. I would say there should be no. There should be none.
Yeah, like
didn't Spike TV used to do it?
Yeah,
well,
that
I
was
think
Jeff
that
Keighley.
like became they kind of morphed into the Game Awards. But it used to just be every outlet would just do their own Game of the Year awards. Like every magazine and website would just say their Game of the Year.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I get what people are saying. Like if you win Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year, I guess that's a big deal, especially for the studios. I'm not saying that they shouldn't win awards or anything, but I just think it's kind of funny that like Jeff Keighley's show has become like the definitive game of the year. Like if you win that, you must be the best game of the year, which I just think is silly. Because there are other websites out there giving like game of the year to strategy games and stuff, which I think is really cool. And I wish that like that kind of stuff was seen more. But like a lot of outlets and a lot of people on the internet all have the exact same opinion. And they're terrible opinions because nobody liked Drakengard 3. That's right, I brought it back. Can you believe that game sits at a 63 on Metacritic? One of the best games I played this year so far. So, all right. Brett, if people want to know where to find you, where can they go?
Other than right here at 6 o'clock Pacific time every Tuesday.
On TikTok now?
Can find me on TikTok and YouTube. They can find me on Twitter. The handle is B_Lars24.
John, where can people find you?
Remember, man, why you always ask me these hard questions? You can find me at The Escapist. I do stuff, I write stuff, then I do more stuff. And I make a video game. It's called Boss Saga. Just Google it. I'm tired of telling people where it is. But it's great. It's going to be Game of the Year in 2045. Just you
Jeff
wait.
Keighley's Game of the Year.
Yeah.
At that point, it will
be
be Brett Medlock's show, not Jeff Keighley's.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a
John-
minute. I just remembered. We're doing it to TikTok now. So, yes. Hello, folks. It's me,
Yeah.
John
Start
Frischner.
dancing.
I'm making a video game
BossDashSaga.com.
called Boss Saga, where you play as the villains to defeat the good guys in JRPG-styled battles. It's graphics like you've never seen, like the good old days of Final Fantasy.
John, why aren't you a TikToker? Come on.
Yeah.
I had to turn on my Carnival Barker mode.
Oh my gosh.
Brilliant.
Boss-saga.com. Get your updates today. I'll update the blog next week.
Guys, you know, have you guys seen that video of that guy who's like talking about something and he has this girlfriend next to him? He's like, "This is my girlfriend. We blah blah blah." Like he says something, and then all the people added stitches to it. Where he's like,
yeah.
a gun to her head.
Where it looks like he's got a.
Yeah.
That's
She's
what John,
amazing.
That's
This
what
is my
John sounded
girlfriend.
like.
Oh my god, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Tuesdays come so quick and then they're gone in an instant. When I hear about Boss Saga every single week, and it's never going to come. I've heard John
He never knows his own website either.
I've heard. I
He's
can
like, "I don't know what
confidently say I've heard John talk more times about Boss Saga than I have heard my dad say I love you. So Greg, where can people go to find you?
Aw, I love you.
Thank you, Dad.
You can find me. I was just kidding. Go to Bosch. I can't say. I want to say Bosch. Bosch-Shagat.com.
Boss Saga Shot Chum.
.com. You can find me right here on TikTok at dynamite_giraffe. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram, all at dynamite_giraffe, as well as over on PC Invasion, where I write news. And I wrote a feature about Redfall, the game everybody hated about vampires. But I usually cover news over there weekly. So, yep.
Awesome. Mary, what about you?
You can find me here on this TikTok channel making some fun videos and content. But you also find me on Twitch and Twitter, Mary Wants a Cookie.
Awesome. And of course, if you want to find me, I'm over on the Destructoid TikTok, posting 3 videos a day over on that channel. It's a lot of fun. We're doing a lot of jokes, a lot of reviews, playing characters and whatnot. So definitely go check out the TikTok. And if you're watching on TikTok, the Becca and Bri dude who've been here the whole time, thanks a lot for hanging out with us. And we're going to be streaming here every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And also, I'm on Twitter at BrettNLL, so definitely go follow me on there if you want to see some more bad takes. Thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. We will talk to you later. Goodbye.
See ya.